to show you guys a video on how I custom colored my extensions. I don't know if any of you guys have seen an older video of mine. I think it's from like 3 years ago, where I custom colored extensions to match my ombre hair at the time, except I had dark brown, almost black extensions, and I tried to bleach them lighter, which it didn't come out terribly, but it didn't come out exactly how I had wanted it to. And this time I took a different approach. I got lighter extensions and dyed the tops of them to match the root of my hair, which is the way that I would definitely suggest doing it. Bleaching extensions is super damaging, and you're honestly never gonna get truly the color that you want it to. So the extensions that I used to do this were the Luxury for Princess, and they are the Princess Glamorous set, I believe, and they are in the 260 grams, which is so much hair, and they are 22 inches in length. And this is what the extensions looked like before I dyed them. These extensions are so thick that I literally didn't have to dye all of the wefts, and my natural hair is super thick. So the fact that I only have to wear like 2 wefts in my head is insane. I have been wearing extensions for the past 10 years. Even though I don't really need them, my hair is really thick and it's pretty long in length. I just love the look of a lot of hair. I just love extensions in general. I have tried almost every single type of extension. I've had the permanent ones, the keratin bonded ones, I've had tape-ins, but I have to say that clip-in extensions are probably my favorite. They're really just like the most practical for me, and they're just a lot more convenient. The Luxury for Princess ones are honestly hands down my favorite brand that I have ever tried, and I have literally, I want to say I've literally tried almost every single brand out there on the market, and these are hands down my favorite. I have never tried any extensions that were as thick as these, and yeah, I just love these. So yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing how I custom colored my ombre Luxury for Princess extensions from this to what I have in my hair right now, then just keep watching. So this is what my extensions looked like before I dyed them. These are the Luxury for Princess Glamorous set in 260 grams, and the shade of the ombre that this is called Honey Clouds. I chose this set because I wanted to pick a color where the blonde on the bottoms of them was closest to the blonde in my real hair, so that I would only have to dye the tops of the extensions as opposed to bleaching the bottom. So the first thing you want to do is to get your products ready. Most of, if not all of the products I'm going to be using were purchased from Sally's. You're going to need a cream developer, which is what will be used to mix with the cream color. And then 2 mixing bowls, which we're going to be using to mix the color with. And then 2 color brushes. And then of course some tin foil that you are going to lay on the surface that you're going to be coloring your extensions on so that you don't get any color anywhere. And then 2 combs that we're going to be using to brush through the extension, and you will see why I have a wider tooth comb and a smaller tooth comb. This is the cream color that I used. I chose a level 4 because it's the closest to what the top of my hair is, and I chose a neutral because I didn't want any golden tones in it. And lastly, you are going to, of course, need some gloves so you don't get this stuff all over your hands. So this is the color that I used, and I went with the 10 volume developer because when depositing color, you don't need to go any higher than that. So now I am just pouring all of the cream color into a bowl, and then I am measuring out, I think it was 4 ounces of the developer, and then just mixing that into the bowl with the cream color. And when you're mixing this, sometimes it could look a little chunky. You want to make sure that you mix this really well so that it's really smooth and more of like a creamy texture. So now I'm going to lay down my first extension weft that I'm going to start to color. And I'm going to take my comb and then brush through that to make sure that it is soft and that there are no knots throughout it. And now I'm just going to start applying the color to the tops of the extensions where the darker blonde is. And I really like that I had gotten extensions that were already ombre'd because I already have a guide that will show me exactly where I need to be applying the darker color and where it starts to fade into the lighter blonde. And when you're applying this, as you can see, pieces of hair at the bottom are getting stuck to the brush. I was using a really dense brush and the bristles kept getting stuck to the hair. So you will see that I'm going to end up switching to a different brush, the pink one that's laying there, just because it has softer bristles and it wasn't getting caught as much as this one. But after I apply that, I'm just combing through the extension so that at the transition line where the color fades from the dark into the blonde, it will just fade a little bit more nicer and it won't look like such a harsh line. So yeah, this is where I'm using the other brush. So again, I'm just applying and depositing more color onto the top, and you want to really make sure that the hair is really saturated and that you get every single piece of hair because you don't want any blonde pieces towards the top. And I'm pretty much do the same steps throughout, just applying the color and then going in with my comb and then gently brushing through the extensions so that they blend a little more. And if you saw before, I turned my brush to the side and I'm kind of just feathering the brush and just making it so that the darker transitions better into the blonde and so that it's not such a harsh line. And that's why I'm taking this smaller tooth comb and just blending that a little more better so that everything transitions more nicely. And then I'm flipping over the weft and literally doing the same exact thing on the other side because as you can see, the color did not transfer through it. So I'm literally just applying the color and like I did on the front of the extension, feathering it at the line where it transitions. And then with the rest of the wefts, I literally did the same exact process, deposited the color on top, and then brushed through it. And then you'll also see I actually got a brand new toothbrush, and I used that instead of using the comb just because it was easier to brush through it. I felt like the comb kept getting stuck on all the hairs, and then I was getting some of the darker hair like on the bottom blonder pieces that I didn't want to do, and the toothbrush was just so much easier to blend at that line. Once I have applied the dark color to all the extension wefts, I'm going to take some conditioner and I'm going to apply the conditioner starting at the middle, right where the ombre transitions, and I'm just going to apply that onto the hair all the way down to the ends. And this is actually really important to do because when we are going to be rinsing the color out of the extensions, you don't want the darker color to bleed onto the blonde. And by putting conditioner on the ends, that will prevent that from happening. So I am going to apply conditioner onto all of the ends, and then I'm going to leave the color on the extension for the recommended time that it is supposed to be on there for. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. I feel like when you are going to be coloring extensions, or if you want ombre extensions, it's so much easier to buy extensions in a lighter color and then just darken them to your root color. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this.